Welcome to the Central Iowa Sports Network's live coverage of the 2017 Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament from downtown Des Moines. It's 40 teams from the smallest towns to the biggest cities competing for 5 titles. CISN's coverage of the 2017 state tournament is brought to you by Mid-American Energy, CenturyLink, Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Now let's go courtside at Wells Fargo Arena for the play-by-play.
Live from Wells Fargo Arena in downtown Des Moines, CISN TV is proud to present the 2017 Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament. This afternoon, Exira Horn-Kimballton, 23-1 on the season, will take on Sidney, 23-1 as well, in Class 1A quarterfinal round action. Hello, everyone. This is Brian Carlisle. Alongside me, Pat O'Brien.
Hello.
Welcome to CISN TV, the #1 social streaming platform dedicated exclusively to local Iowa sports, CISN.TV. Today's broadcast is coming to you on the Mid-American Energy Iowa High School Girls Sports Network. Thank you for tuning in today, folks, as we will be providing live coverage of the Girls State Basketball Tournament quarterfinal and semifinal rounds. I want to remind you to follow the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union on CISN.TV for alerts on all future state tournament broadcasts and highlights of the tournament. And follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well throughout the tournament. It is free, so get in there and sign up and follow your favorite school today. We're going to step away for just a couple minutes, take a couple spots. We'll be right back as we get ready for Exira Horn-Kimballton and Sidney right here from the Well.
Spring has arrived at the all-new Fireplace Superstore. Drop in and check out all the new 2017 patio furniture. At Fireplace Superstore, you will find Central Iowa's most complete outdoor furniture selection for your deck and patio, including gas and charcoal grills, fire pits, and wicker furniture. Get in on the early spring savings going on now. Fireplace Superstore has been creating your outdoor style for over 35 years. Fireplace Superstore just west of Homemakers on Douglas in Urbandale.
Ask anyone you know, they will tell you the best meat comes from Fairway. We take pride in our meat counter and choose nothing but the best choice beef for our customers. From ribeyes to ribs, chicken to brats, we have them all. From grilling season to crock-pot weather, we have you covered. Fairway, best at choice beef.
It's Truck Month at the all-new Schottenkirk Ford in Indianola. Get $12,000 off select new F-150s and a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. $12,000 off select new F-150s. Or get 0% for 72 months. To bulk up fresh local trades, Schottenkirk Ford is in a position to give you more for your trade. The Schottenkirk Experience, now available in Indianola. The all-new Schottenkirk Ford of Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Horn-Kimballton Spartans enter the game with a record of 23-1. They hail from the Rolling Valley Conference in Shelby County. Their school colors are maroon, white, and black. Please welcome the Exira Horn-Kimballton Spartans.
That's a little loud in the ear, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, welcome back here to Wells Fargo Arena as we are getting ready here. Exira, Horn-Kimballton, 23-1, and Sidney, 23-1 as well. The Spartans and the Cowgirls here on the Spartans will be your home team, and we'll be in the white, and then in the red here will be the Cowgirls. Let's talk about Sidney first here. Like we said, 23-1. Amy McClintock is your head coach, making their first ever state appearance. I think that in itself, that's where your nerves are going to come in right away. You're stepping down here on this floor for the first time ever.
Yeah, when you get into an environment like this where there's so much space at ceiling level behind the baskets and things like that, it's not the same as what they're seeing in these 1A gyms.
You betcha. The Cowgirls, led by freshman Maddie Duncan, is their leading scorer, 15 points a game. And then Marin Phillips, 13.5. Caitlin Ward at 10.3. So pretty diverse scoring group here from Sidney. But I really like the fact that I've been watching them as they've been on the floor. Right now, they don't look too intimidated, but I know exactly what you're saying because when you get down here, all of a sudden, it's space. Well, it's not tight. There's not a wall about 2 feet from you. you know?
That's right. And the question is going to be, can they handle that first pressure and that first run right out of the game? How do they handle the first 3 minutes of this game? Now, these kids are not they've been to the state tournament in other sports. So they've been in the environment. They've been in the one-and-dones before. So we'll see how that transitions from the volleyball into basketball.
You bet. So now let's talk a little Exira Horn-Kimballton here. Returns to the Class 1A field for the third straight year. Semifinalist in 2015. And, of course, fell to Newell-Fonda first round last year. The big thing, 4 returning starters from the 2016 team, which that in itself, there's your experience over a Sidney group that's not been here before. But let's start with junior Sophia Peppers, 17.5 points a game. That's pretty good. And then fellow junior Keely Nelson at 13.5 a contest.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of times you'll see in some of the younger, the lower classes, the 1As and 2As, you'll have one that's dominant, and they can get you to the state tournament. Exira Elkhorn has 4 of them that are pretty balanced when you get in there at 17.5 a game, 13.5, and 12 points a game. So you shut down and you get your whole game plan against one, you got 3 others right there that are going to hurt you.
So then you haven't even begun to talk about the 2 seniors. Maddie Rasmussen, 11.6 points a game, and Burmeister, 11.4. Both of them eclipsed the 1,000-point scoring for their career during the regular season. So you talk about the 2 ahead of them, and then you throw in 2 seniors that have just broke 1,000. This team scores a lot of points. I mean, this is a pretty good team. We looked at their regional tournament action, 73-15 over Woodbine, 72-39 over Boyer, and then they went down to 52 over Acorn and Westfield. If you look at Sidney, they came out, they beat Fremont Mills 53-37 on their first game for the tournament trail. 59-42 over Essex, and then 55-52 over Glidden Ralston. So,
yeah, when you break that down, Exira Horn-Kimballton beat their first 2 opponents by a combined 92 points. So they weren't battle tested. But in that third game against Akron Westfield, that's a 6-point game. Conversely, with Sidney, their first 2, 34 points they beat them by. And then the next game, so it was by 3. So when you look at that, both these teams have been battle tested. They both earned the right to be here.
Tom Peterson, in his 19th year, is on the bench for Exira, and Amy McClintock, in her first. In her first, 23-10. That's pretty good stuff. I was looking at Sidney's win-loss record. With that one loss, they lost to the Nebraska City Lords. I'm not even sure who that is. Yeah. Obviously not here. So
Western Iowa.
We are. That's some good stuff right there. Let's take a look. Lincoln Savings Bank. Let's talk. All right. Well, we're gonna hold off on that here real quick. Let's talk one other thing real quick here. Following this one, I believe, and we can talk about that game real quick. Iowa City Regina will be on the docket first against Logan Magnolia. That's going to start your 2A following this one. The winner of this game will get Turkey Valley, who came off just a tremendous basketball game right here, 160-58 over Janesville. The other side of the bracket, 1A, we have Springville and Kingsley Pearson. So we are going to go ahead and send it over to our PA for your starting lineups.
Iowa Farm Bureau would like to recognize the outstanding sportsmanship shown by Sidney and Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton throughout the season and during this state tournament week. In recognition of the importance of good sportsmanship, each state qualifying school was asked to nominate a spectator who represents the school and community in a sportsmanlike manner. Karen Brown of the Girls Athletic Union will present each nominee with a certificate of recognition and a $250 check payable to their school scholarship fund. Please join us in honoring these individuals whose decorum and respect for others serves as a model for all spectators attending interscholastic events. From Sidney, Johnny Beam. And from Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton, Mike Hegrick. Hello, everyone, and are you ready for Iowa High School Girls 2017 State Tournament action? The winner of today's Class 1A quarterfinal game will advance to play Turkey Valley in the Class 1A semifinal
When
game
I first come back,
on Thursday,
I got to do these,
March 2nd at 11:45
and then we'll
a.m.
do our in-game
First
stuff.
of all, say hello to head coach Amy McClintock and the Sidney Cowgirls. Now say hello to head coach Tom Peterson and the Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton Spartans. Let's meet the non-starters and assistant coaches from each team, beginning with the Sidney Cowgirls. Number 12, Olivia Larson.
Boy, they don't have
Number
a lot of
13,
people.
Danica Lauman. Number 14, Liz Lang. Number 15, Morgan Maher. Number 20, Maddie Moores. Number 22, Lindy Strickler. Number 24, Kennedy Whipple. Number 25, Jaden Daffer. And number 30, Emily Welch. The assistant coaches for Sidney are Dave Dowling and Dustin Sheldon. Now let's meet the non-starters and assistant coaches for the Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton Spartans. Number 10, J.C. Anthofer. Number 14, Rachel Walker. Number 24, Alex Peterson. Number 32, Ellie Schultes. Number 34, Lauren Hansen. Number 42, Leslie Caniglia. Number 44, Grace Grieving. Number 50, Damian Peterson. And number 52, Cameron Waymeyer. The assistant coaches for Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton are Hillary Runyon and Corey Bartz. And now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for today's starting lineups? For Sidney, number 10, Maddie Holsing. And for Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton, number 12, Sadie Schultes. For Sidney, number 11, Caitlin Ward. And for Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton, number 20, Maggie Rasmussen. For Sidney, number 21, Cameron McClintock. And for Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton, number 22, Mara Burmeister. For Sidney, number 23, Maddie Duncan. And for Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton, number 30, Keely Nelson. For Sidney, number 32, Marin Phillips. And for Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton, number 40, Sophia Peppers. The head coach for Sidney is Amy McClintock, and the head coach for Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton is Tom Peterson. The floor officials for the game this afternoon are Rich Collison, Chad Slagle, and Jared Ray. Welcome, Sidney and Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton, to the 2017 Iowa Girls State Tournament.
Your starting lineups were brought to you by the Fairway Food Stores. Always shop Fairway's full-service meat counter for the best USDA choice beef, all-natural pork, and chicken. At Fairway, you'll find farm-fresh produce and all the groceries your family needs at affordable prices. Well, we're back and ready to go. Sidney and Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton. Spartans Cowgirls right here. Live from the well. It'll be Peppers and Phillips jumping center. And here we go, controlled by Elkhorn. Nelson into the front court it goes. Burmeister into the far corner. On the drive, looking down low, they get it down there. Nice dump up and under, and Peppers scores 2-0, Exira. And a full court press, broken pretty easy by the Cowgirls. Pass up ahead, off the fingers, and out of bounds. They got them speed them up a little bit.
Yep,
see what happens.
And there's going to be a lot of turnovers in these games. There always is in these state tournament games.
So bringing it up, it will be Peppers into the front court here for the Spartans. Man-to-man defense here by the Cowgirls. Up top. Looking for the cutter and saved. Great save, but it will be taken away by Phillips. Into the front court. Here comes the Cowgirls. This will be Holsing. Hands off to Duncan, and she will control the point here for him. Man-to-man defense here by the Spartans as well early. And actually, okay, there we go. I was going to say they looked like they were just having a little rover. There's a shot up, and no good off the side of the iron. Rebounded out of there, kicked up off the glass, no good. So a miss by Phillips, a miss by Holsing, and the Spartans are up into the front court. 3-ball on the way. No good, a hard off the iron, but rebounded by Schulteis. So calls out the play. Still man-to-man here. I thought Peppers was going to let that one fly. She looked. Here comes the drive. Kiss off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Burmeister off her miss. Shot up, kiss off the glass, no good on there. There's Burmeister. Finish, 4-0. Spartans. Full court press applied here. Almost a steal right there by Burmeister. She was trying to get it, and that ball tipped away by Peppers. Boy, Exira, they got great size, and they run their two tallest is their front of their press.
Yep, absolutely.
Good athletes. So Sidney with the basketball. It will be Holsing. Man-to-man still. Here comes a high ball screen. Swinging it around. Here comes your shot up. No good. Rimmed all the way down and in. A miss by Phillips. And here comes Nelson on the run. She's going to take the kiss off the glass. No good. Rebounded by Phillips. And there's a foul.
Right now,
see who that one was on.
Everything is going through Phillips down low, and that should be the way they go.
See who that foul was on. I missed the.
I didn't.
All right, that one was on Nelson. That'll be her first, the team's first. So into the front court they come. McClintock. And a little hesitation dribble. Gets herself down low, off the kiss off the glass, no good. McClintock finishes. And Sidney's on the scoreboard. 4-2 your score, 5:24 on the clock here. So Schulteis kicks it out. Burmeister with it. Back to Schulteis. She's going to stop and pop. Ball's blocked. Blocked away by McClintock. Controlled by the Cowgirls. Boy, they do not slow down, do they?
No, it's a race.
It is quick. McClintock's going to fire a 3-ball. Good. And it's McClintock 5 and the Spartans 4. And she has all 5 points right here to start the game. Sagging a little bit here on Schulteis. Kicking it inside. Finding her position, getting her feet underneath her. Great job by Peppers just to find herself, gather herself, and put it in there.
Yep, she did a nice job at getting bodies, positioning in there, and it's a great interior pass.
Here comes McClintock again on a 3-ball. Almost the same spot, but rebounded right there nicely by Phillips. 7-6, Cowgirls. Nice little high-low game here.
It was.
There's another little high dump pass in, kiss off, and in as it goes as Rasmussen scores off the glass.
So far right now, everything is inside for the Spartans.
Yeah, I haven't seen an outside shot yet, have you?
Nope, everything's inside.
Here's McClintock with the basketball. Hand off to Duncan, back to McClintock inside, and that she is tough down low, and that's going to be a foul. Phillips gets great position, and that foul will be on number 22, Burmeister.
Well, she's a kid that I think as the game goes on, they're going to have to determine, do I put somebody in front and behind, which is going to open somebody else up, or do I try to match up one-on-one?
First free throw is good. For Mid-American Energy, putting power in your hands means helping keep families safe. To learn more, visit midamericanenergy.com.
Free throws have played a factor in all the games so far today, so we'll see what happens in this
Phillips
game.
going to shoot one more here. Hard on that one and no good. Rebounded out of there nicely by Nelson. Push ahead. Crossover, little pull up. I tell you, she just has great looking form, Peppers. Sophia Peppers. And she handles the ball nicely for a post player.
Well, she's your leader.
10-8 your score here. So Duncan surveying the court here. Going to get a high ball screen. She's going to take a shot. That ball's blocked. Saved nicely and taken away. And here we go, coming the other way. Kiss up off the glass and in by Nelson. Rachel Walker, I believe, is on the floor. Yes, she is.
30.
Number 14 there. I missed her when she first came in.
Yeah, Keeley did a great job of body control on that.
Comes a jump shot up. No good. High off the glass. Here comes Nelson with it. Kicks ahead. Here comes Burmeister. She pulls it up. Gives it back to Nelson. Nelson fires from the free throw line. No good. There's a miss. There's Nelson with it. Boy, they are hard on the glass. Peppers on the offensive glass. And then Nelson. And Nelson will head to the free throw line. Great job. Great job by Peppers to find where she was at. Yep. From focusing on food safety to promoting animal care, protecting Iowa's natural resources to enhancing the quality of life in their communities, Iowa pig farmers are doing it right. To learn more, visit iowapork.org. First one goes for Nelson. One more coming. 13-8 your lead here for the Spartans. Couple of subs coming in here. Rasmussen comes in and she gets Burmeister. We had a couple of subs on the Cowgirls side as well. We'll get those in just a second. That one is good as well. That's 14-8. Now, Nelson will take a break. Caniglia will come in for Elkhorn. Also in, let's see, Ward Moores, number 20 for the Cowgirls. And she has the basketball currently right here, number 20. Looking down low. So trying to find Holsing down low as they're giving Phillips a break here. High ball screen, then pick the dribble up. That didn't help her. There's a shot up and in. Maddie Duncan with the runner. Schulteis up, kicks it down low to Phillips. Phillips off the glass and in. I'm sorry, that's Peppers. Peppers with the shot and in. 16-10. Spartan lead here with 2:05 on your clock. Both teams are very, very similar in the fact that they want to get into the paint. That is the one thing we're seeing a lot of here, Pat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good shot by Holsing. 16-12 your score. Under 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. There's a turnover. And we'll get it. There's the turnover, and now we're going to jump ball. And it's going to head Cowgirls' way.
This game has started totally different than the other two games that I've watched today. A lot of outside shots on those other games. Right now, everything's in the paint.
So we're back to the starting lineup here for the Spartans. So here comes Moores into the front court. She will run the show here. Her along with Duncan. Here's McClintock with it. Back to her. Moore's going to fire a three. She didn't look like she got her feet quite where she wanted them and missed the three ball. So it will be Spartans basketball here. She looked Looked like she was ready, and all of a sudden she just kind of short-armed it, thinking, I'm not sure I got it there.
That can be the difference on not having that depth perception that you normally have in some of the smaller gyms.
Well, Schultes with the basketball. Nelson comes to the right side of the floor. She's going to run to the far side here. And they are just going to sag. They're going to run 2 defenders here on Peppers.
Yep,
and they're going to make somebody else beat you. And I understand this theory really well.
Yep.
And let's see if there's a jump shot. No good. Missed by Nelson. Rebounded out there by McClintock. And, boy, they're quick just to jump right back into that. The reach away, tip away by Peppers.
Peppers, the junior, is all over this court right now.
Well, she's not afraid to come and guard somebody.
No.
She does a nice job coming and extending the defense for the Spartans. Makes it tough.
Well,
even on a miss,
absolutely.
you're still coming out and putting your press on. So Duncan with it. Here's McClintock, cross pass to Moores. Right back to McClintock. Let's see if she, nope, nothing there. She does not decide to pull the trigger. We're coming up here on 35 seconds left here in the quarter. Been a good first quarter. Shot up and in by Ward on a runner. Boy, if it doesn't catch the glass or the circle, it's going to fly off to the other side. So let's see if the Spartans are going to hold for one here. Inside they go. Peppers misses that, and it is out, and it will go Cowgirls' way. 13-3 on your clock. 2-point game. We'll see if we can get it tied or take a lead here for the Cowgirls before the end of the quarter. Run up into the court by Moores. Hands it off. There comes your 3 ball on the way. No good. A scramble for it, and that will end your quarter with the Spartans up 16-14. We'll be back right after these messages.
Rewards for getting checkups and free Weight Watchers.
Wow, that sounds great. I'm going with Amerigroup too.
Choose Amerigroup. Call 1-800-338-8366 today.
Hey, it's annual enrollment for most Iowa HealthLink members. If you signed up in April last year, you can change plans or keep things the way they are. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I'll probably check out all the plans again. I'm thinking about switching. I just want to make some healthy changes this year. Who do you have?
I'm staying with Amerigroup. I get all the regular benefits plus lots of extras. Rewards for getting checkups and free Weight Watchers.
Wow, that sounds great. I'm going with Amerigroup too.
Choose Amerigroup. Call 1-800-338-8366 today.
Welcome back here to Wells Fargo Arena. After the end of the first quarter, the Spartans are up on the Cowgirls 16-14. Pat, I think the Cowgirls have settled in. I think one of the keys for me was to see how that went, and I think they've done a good job so far really kind of matching the Spartans for, basket for the most part. But I don't think they're going to back down. They're hanging right in there. I can see why this team is 23-1.
Oh, absolutely. And the biggest thing I think out of that quarter is they weathered the storm. They didn't get down big. Now we'll see where we're at in the second quarter.
Yeah, that's eventually that press I think is going to it just seems like it's a wearing down press. They're not trying to get steals. They're just wearing you down physically.
Right.
So here we go. We're back at it here as it'll be Schultes at the helm. Here's Nelson right back to her to see the jump shot goes up, blocked, but right to the one. Sophia Peppers finishes in the post, and you can tell she is very, very comfortable on that right block. Free throw line at the bottom there, and she knows right where she wants to turn. A shot up by McClintock, no good. Rebounded by Nelson. Running on a 4-point lead. Here comes Nelson into the front court. Here's a long 3, and it is good.
That was
by Mari Burmeister. Wow, that was the
an NBA 3.
That was the D-League 3 right there. McClintock looking inside, not able to get it in there to Phillips, and I think that's where. If you're Sidney, you've got to go through number 3 too here and see what you can do with her. Here's Duncan. There's a turnover. Nelson on the run. Duncan going to let that go, and she does. But the bucket, Nelson. It's 20 now. All of a sudden from 16-14, 7-0 run here.
And now we're at that point of the game where they got to get a good shot.
Here's McClintock with it up top. Man-to-man defense. It's the old Princeton weave here. There's Duncan with the shot. No good. Rebounded by Nelson. Rebounded by Rasmussen. Kicked it up. Inside it goes. Now good ball movement right here by the Spartans, and they'll reset it as the coach calls it out. 3 ball on the way. Is there not anything the young lady cannot do?
That was a good shot.
Missed
it was
by
right
Peppers.
On the nose.
Missed by Peppers on the 3, rebounded by the Cowgirls, and now into the offense they go. And that ball is turned away. Peppers comes up with the steal, and she's going to go on the run until somebody slows her down. And we are going to get a 30-second timeout. So always shop Fairways. Full service meat counter for the best.
Iowa. And here, we don't just dream of a better tomorrow, of a smarter way to do business or live, of perseverance and progress. We inspire it in others. We challenge the conventional, reimagine what it means to be better, and then dare ourselves to make it great. This is Iowa. And here, we don't just dream. We make history.
All right, welcome back here, Wells Fargo Arena. Spartans 23, Cowgirls 14, 6:06 here left in the second quarter as the Spartans have kind of pushed themselves, kind of flexing a little muscle here. Let's see what they can do here.
Yeah, the Cowgirls are in a tough spot right now. They need to get a stop and get a bucket down low.
So Rasmussen with it, goes around a nice high ball screen. Here's Burmeister. And there's going to be a turnover, and we are going to have a jump ball, and it will go Cowgirls' way as Schultes lost it on the pass to her, and then it was tied up for the Cowgirls' possession. Here's McClintock into the front court. See, I think they've got to figure out how to get that ball right there.
That's where they got to
go. And there she is.
There.
Phillips on cue as she gets a great assist from McClintock.
They know they need to go down there, but sometimes it's not that easy to do.
I'm gonna wonder how much longer the Spartans will not have anybody behind her.
That's
shot up, no good, hard off the glass. Nelson rebounds, good. The miss by Schultes, number 32, and then rebounded by Nelson. Great job right there. Pushes it back to 9. Here's a push to McClintock. Right inside to Phillips she goes. This one goes off the corner, rebounded. Phillips grabs it away. And she's going to look to make some space here, and she does. Here's McClintock.
Nice job.
I'm sorry, no, it was not McClintock. That was Ward on the offensive glass. 4-2.
Good rebounding.
Well, they get on the glass. That's a good thing to see. There's a shot up, missed. Rebounded in by Nelson. Missed by Peppers. And they go right back and do the same thing.
That was an identical possession right there.
Here's McClintock into the corner. This is going to be a 3 ball. It's going to come up short. Missed by Holsing. And now the walk up by Rasmussen. Kick into the corner. We're going to have a 3 ball on the way. It's long. Misses everything. And on the run, here we come. Here comes Ward. Ball tipped away. There's the hands. And then it'll be a foul on Ward.
Yeah.
There's Peppers.
we could see that one coming at about 20 feet prior to that.
Yep.
You got 2 people, one in front, one in behind, and you got the other defender with the sideline, basically.
Three subs coming in here. Walker, Schultes, number 12. And number 42 is Caniglia coming in.
As Sophia Peppers goes out.
Moore's in, Ward out here for Sidney as well. So now we got it set. We're ready to go here. So it'll be Schultes with the basketball, number 12, bringing it up, coming to the left side. What McClintock's doing is just staying off anybody that is coming to the top and then beat you down low. Yep. There's McClintock with the offensive rebound, gives it to Duncan. And Duncan up the floor. Cross court to Holsing. Holsing going to go on the spin. Kiss up off the glass, no good. Good hard rebound right there by Caniglia.
There's a lot of bodies in the middle right now.
And they walk it up the floor again, just kind of taking their time. But watch McClintock. She drops off. She's just basically playing the middle. Here's Nelson. Kick. Ball was actually blocked away, and it's going to be Sidney basketball off of the Spartans and out of bounds.
It's kind of hard to tell what kind of a defense they're running down there, whether it's a sagging man or like a 1-3-1 or a 3-2.
Well, they're dropping. They're running almost just leaving her in the middle and just running everybody as a man-to-man.
Yeah.
It's kind of a helter-skelter defense, which you see a lot of that down here because you got to figure out what you want to do with some of them. On the run, Maddie Duncan, nice little runner from the right side. Here's a push up the floor. Here's Burmeister inside, trying to get
Nice
it
steal.
to Peppers, stolen away. McClintock. Kick up front, gives it to Moores. Moores, and we're going to get a travel. She knew what she wanted to do.
She knew exactly what needed to happen. It just wasn't able to happen.
Rasmussen back into the lineup here. Burmeister out. 3:13 on the clock. 7-point game here currently by the Spartans with the lead 27-20. And up the floor they come with Schultes. Caniglia and Walker. Walker back to Schultes. Here's Peppers. We're going to see a 3-ball on the way. No good, but offensive rebound by Rasmussen and gets the bucket. 9-point game here. Here's McClintock with it. Over to Moores. There's inside, tipped away. She's been active since in here,
yep,
Caniglia.
Absolutely.
Schultes up to the front court. Crossover. And down the floor she goes with the bucket on a nice dribble drive. One hard dribble into the lane. Up and in by Peppers.
Yeah, you knew she wasn't going to stay out of the game long.
Peppers is having her nice first half here for the Spartans.
She's at 12 points so far in the game.
Olivia Larson in, and we're going to get a full timeout here. We'll be right back.
Ask anyone you know, they will tell you the best meat comes from Fairway. We take pride in our meat counter and choose nothing but the best choice beef for our customers. From ribeyes to ribs, chicken to brats, we have them all. From grilling season to crock-pot weather, we have you covered. Fairway, best at choice beef.
Welcome back here, Wells Fargo Arena. 2:30 left here on the clock in the first half. The Spartans from Exira, Horn-Kimballton lead Sidney Cowgirls 31-20. Pushed it to an 11-point lead. And shooting one right here will be Sophia Peppers after the old conventional three-point play here, if you will. And it is no good. Rebounded by Moores. And up the court they come here. Down by 11. We'll see if they get a good couple of possessions here for the Cowgirls. You've got to see at least one or two really good possessions. The big thing is you got to find number 32 here with the basketball.
I think so, yes. That's where everything's at. There's
Larson over there on the far side.
On those outside shots.
Larson to Moores. Looking inside. There she is. Good tip away by Peppers.
And
we're going to head the other way as it goes off the fingers of Maddie Moores, and it will be Exira Elkhorn basketball.
Those entry passes, we're trying to go, Sidney trying to go over the top, and they really got to go top and then right down for the bounce pass.
You got use a little ball fake. Here's a shot up, no good, does not draw iron, missed by Nelson. And here comes Holsing after the rebound by Moores. And it is amazing to me. They just put a full court press on you no matter what it is that has happened to them. Now they're dropping Peppers to front, Nelson behind. So this is what I thought you would see out of Sidney.
Absolutely.
And Elkhorn said, we're not going to let the inside beat you. And there's a turnover, almost a turnover. And now we're going to get a foul here on number 12, Olivia Larson, who was getting active on the tip. And then almost got the steal, but instead got the foul.
You know, you can live with that foul because it's all effort. And it's really a 50-50 ball, but the ball ended up getting on the wrong side of her, and she went through the body.
So Duncan and Ward back on the floor, and we are back to, I believe, your starting lineup here. Yes, we are. Starting lineup here from both teams as we wind down this first half. Good first half of basketball so far here. Peppers with the basketball. Here's Burmeister looking inside. Couldn't get Nelson there. Now they're looking inside, trying to find a good angle. And they're drop. McClintock did a good job there with the frontal.
Yep.
On the drive. Handled by Peppers, and that is going to be 14 for the young lady here on the day so far. Here's McClintock coming up into the front court. If she'd have kept going, she did have an angle probably to get that one in there. Here's Duncan.
You really got to think driving the basketball.
Man-to-man defense here. Here's Holsing. Holsing kicks it down low. Yeah, that was great entry pass. Just couldn't find the handle was Phillips. Now into the front court. Nelson up ahead. And the finish by Sophia Peppers. And we've got ourselves a 15-point game. Here's Duncan going into the far corner. Hands it off. Ward going to fire. No good. Rebounded by Peppers. And they're going to walk it up for one here. Schultes with the basketball. So it is. It's man-to-man with McClintock just standing in the middle. And that ball's tipped away by McClintock, and that's going to end your first half, where the Spartans lead the Cowgirls 35-20. And we will be right back here in just a few minutes as we talk about first half highlights, second half action here. You're listening to the 2017 Girls State Basketball Tournament live from Wells Fargo Arena.
Hey, it's annual enrollment for most Iowa HealthLink members. If you signed up in April last year, you can change plans or keep things the way they are. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I'll probably check out all the plans again. I'm thinking about switching. I just want to make some healthy changes this year. Who do you have?
I'm staying with AmeriGroup. I get all the regular benefits plus lots of extras. Rewards for getting checkups and free Weight Watchers.
Wow, that sounds great. I'm going with AmeriGroup too.
Choose AmeriGroup. Call 1-800-338-8366 today.
This is Iowa. And here, we don't just dream of a better tomorrow, of a smarter way to do business or live, of perseverance and progress. We inspire it in others. We challenge the conventional, reimagine what it means to be better, and then dare ourselves to make it great. This is Iowa. And here, we don't just dream, we make history.
Honesty, integrity, hard work, discipline.
Hi, I'm Greg Schottenkirk, and for over 50 years, our dealerships have been built on these principles.
I'm Doug DeArmond, managing partner. For the last 12 years, we've shown Waukee a new way of doing business.
And now we're going to show Ford buyers in Indianola the same way.
Introducing the all-new Schottenkirk Ford in Indianola. Schottenkirk Ford of Indianola. Now 2 stores and 1 name to better serve you. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
All right, welcome back here to Wells Fargo Arena as we're getting some nice halftime action as you're seeing the dancers out here. These things are an interesting interesting attire, but it's very cool.
Yeah, it
but
is.
Let's talk a little hoops here. Spartans 35-20 over the Cowgirls here. It was a tale of 2 quarters to me.
Yep.
I thought the first quarter, Sidney kind of hung around with Exira. You know, I wouldn't say match basket for basket, but they were finding the niche, which was the inside presence of Phillips, along with Holsing getting some. McClintock hit 5 points for him. But the second quarter, Exira kind of found their sea legs, their feet, if you will, and really decided it was time to get Peppers involved. I think she has, 14 for the half. But what was really impressive about her is it wasn't so much the offensive effort, it was as her defensive effort.
Yeah, I mean, she's leading the press when after a made basket. She's playing the defense on the backside against their number 1 player on the post. So there's a lot going on in this game that Sophia Peppers, and I got her for 16 right now. So, I mean, you look at that, she's doing everything on the court right now.
Yeah, so let's update that bracket real quick. If you want to hand me yours, I didn't bring mine over here. So let's talk a little bit about how the bracket looks right now. In that first game of the day at 10 o'clock, Springville knocked off Burlington Notre Dame in convincing fashion, 56-16. In that second game, number 7 against number 6, Marquette Catholic, Kinsley Pearson. Pearson walks away with the victory. And then probably what was a lot of fun to watch, you and I were sitting behind before we jumped on the air, and we were watching Turkey Valley and Janesville. And I'm telling you what, that was a fun one to watch.
Man, I was sweating watching that game. And getting into the game, I'm like watching these kids go. And, you know, for the people out there that think that 1A basketball players can't play, I'm telling you right now, I've watched a lot of basketball, and those kids can play ball.
And I tell you what, not having seen a lot of them, and I seen part of Springfield, but the two players right now that really have impressed me are Phillips and Peppers here in this game for the Spartans and the Cowgirls respectively. The thing that I really, really enjoy watching, especially from the Spartans' point of view, they are very patient. They know where they want that basketball to go, and they're going to wait and wait and wait until they need to get that thing there. They do a great job. Ball movement, side to side, which forces your defense, because right now the Cowgirls are doing a lot of dropping, leaving McClintock in the middle, running their 4 across. I don't know if I understand what you're trying to do. Execution's the other thing you got to have happen. They're doing a pretty good job, but until you figure out how you're going to front and back behind Peppers, it could be a long game.
Well, you're at the point right now in the game where you got to go all in on Sophia Peppers. So she's at 16 points right now in the game. However, Kaylee Nelson has 10. So there's another one right there, 26 points of the 35 that you got. So those are the two right now that if you're Sidney, you want to get in there and really focus on those two players.
Yeah, so let's talk about Lincoln Savings Bank. For over 100 years, expertise and experience have made Lincoln Savings Bank the bank of choice.
Spring has arrived at the all-new Fireplace Superstore. Drop in and check out all the new 2017 patio furniture. At Fireplace Superstore, you will find Central Iowa's most complete outdoor furniture selection for your deck and patio, including gas and charcoal grills, fire pits, and
we're not going to be disappointed with this one just as much.
No.
We got a little over about 4 minutes left here in the at halftime. 35-20, the Spartans lead over the Cowgirls. Pat, let's go and look at some stats here from both teams.
You know, I wasn't taking – it's hard to keep track of all the misses and things that go on some of these things. But right now, for the Spartans, for Exira, Horn-Kimballton, you basically, from a scoring standpoint, have a two-girl show. You got Nelson and you got Peppers. If you take those two away, the rest of the team has 6, 7 points. So, I mean, when you look at the whole aspect of that, 9 points between those. So, you're going to focus on those. Pretty balanced scoring for the Cowgirls. 2, 4, 4, 2, 3. There's not a lot of three-pointers being made, but there's a lot of three-pointers being shot.
You bet.
So, from that standpoint, it's almost like a turnover because we're not even drawing iron.
Right.
So you don't give yourself the opportunity for that long rebound.
Yeah. So what we're going to do real quick, Pat, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back as we get ready as we're winding down halftime. You're listening to the 2017 Girls State Basketball Tournament live here from Wells Fargo Arena.
Spring has arrived at the all-new Fireplace Superstore. Drop in and check out all the new 2017 patio furniture. At Fireplace Superstore, you will find Central Iowa's most complete outdoor furniture selection for your deck and patio, including gas and charcoal grills, fire pits, and wicker furniture. Get in on the early spring savings going on now. Fireplace Superstore has been creating your outdoor style for over 35 years. Fireplace Superstore just west of Homeacres on Douglas in Urbandale.
Ask anyone you know, they will tell you. The best meat comes from Fairway. We take pride in our meat counter and choose nothing but the best choice beef for our customers. From ribeyes to ribs, chicken to brats, we have them all. From grilling season to crock-pot weather, we have you covered. Fairway, best at choice beef.
It's Truck Month at the all-new Schottenkirk Ford in Indianola. Get $12,000 off select new F-150s and a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. $12,000 off select new F-150s. Or get 0% for 72 months. To bulk up fresh local trades, Schottenkirk Ford is in a position to give you more for your trade. The Schottenkirk Experience, now available in Indianola. The all-new Schottenkirk Ford of Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Just putting the finishing touches here on halftime as the Spartans and the Cowgirls are coming back on the floor. We'll be back to the starting five here for the Spartans. It'll be number 12, Sadie Schultes. 20 is Rasmussen. 22, Burmeister. Keely Nelson, 30, and Sophia Peppers, number 40. And I'm going to see what the Cowgirls are going to counter with. I'm expecting to be Holstein, Ward, McClintock, Duncan, and Phillips, but we'll see here.
It's going to be very important for Sidney to cut this 15-point lead in half, at least in this third quarter. You don't want to go into the fourth quarter down by 10 or 12 because then you're susceptible to fouls.
I'm going to be curious, and I just thought about this, and they are going to go back to man-to-man. And they are going to run just Phillips in the middle, and she's actually just going to she's going to guard the middle. They're going to move McClintock. And there's the first shot up and a miss right away by Schultes.
The adjustment at the halftime was this is the kid that we're going to let go, and 32 is going to end up being there to clean things up.
So now we'll see the same thing here, man-to-man. What a hard set screen down there. Here comes Duncan on the shot, no good. McClintock with the offensive rebound, right back to Duncan. Here's Holsing. Holsing's going to fire. Good by Mackenzie Holsing.
There you go.
35-22 as we get started after the first possession by Sidney. The Cowgirls cut into the deficit here. Here's Nelson. Back to Peppers. Peppers going to try to go on the drive by Holsing. Picked away by Holsing. Let's see if she's going to be able to get the shot up. She does. Great defense right there by Burmeister. Never bumped her.
Nope.
Just ran in front of the basketball. Good job by number 22 there for the Spartans. And up we go. Schultes with the basketball. Coach Peterson calling out the play. There's Burmeister. She's going to fire the three. No good. Hard off the glass. Good rebound right there by Nelson. And the finish. She is an offensive machine on the offensive glass. She just has a real good nose for the basketball. Here's Duncan into the front court. McClintock with it. Looking down low. And this is going to be a good battle with Peppers and Phillips because now you've got, there's the one up over, not able to handle. That was a great entry pass just off the fingertips.
But the entry pass is difficult to manage from the top of the key. If she's 4 or 5 feet back over to the wing side, it's a lot easier entry pass.
Better entry, better angle.
Better angle.
So into the front court we go. Here's Ellie Schultes with it.
If Schultes can get right up to that free throw line and pop it.
And she's popping that one. She wasn't wasting any time. Out of bounds it goes. Good try. Almost a save by Rasmussen, just not quite able to. Here comes your full court press,
I like the shot. I wish she would have been a little bit closer in there.
They're going to back this one off a little bit. This might be more about just, they are. They're going to shadow Duncan here. And they really are shadowing Duncan. She's going to be lucky to get the basketball.
She's the leader of the team.
Here's McClintock. Going to fire. Good on a 3-ball. Foot behind the line. And we're down to a 12-point game.
Who hit that?
McClintock, number 21. Great shot right there from her. Here's the drive. That shot tipped by Phillips. And there's going to be a foul as you're going to get Peppers on a reach. Ellie Schulteis was trying to get in there. She got deep, just couldn't. Then it was done. She was in amongst the trees.
Yep.
So Duncan and Holsing. Duncan will get the basketball and run the point here.
And
guarded by Schulteis.
Fouls are not a problem for either team.
Here's Duncan with the basketball. She kicks it over. McClintock's going to fire again. Good. Young ladies coming to shoot the 3-ball. Timeout, Exira.
It's Truck Month at the all-new Schottenkirk Ford in Indianola. Get $12,000 off select new F-150s and a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. $12,000 off select new F-150s. Or get 0% for 72 months. To bulk up fresh local trades, Schottenkirk Ford is in a position to give you more for your trade. The Schottenkirk Experience, now available in Indianola. The all-new Schottenkirk Ford of Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Mr. Hometown Clothing Store, the one that had it all, everything to get the work done, all in one place. G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
Welcome back here to Wells Fargo Arena as we have starting to see the shooting woes, I think, are gone here a little bit for Sidney.
Well,
as McClintock is really starting to light it up here in the second half.
That's her third 3 of the game right there. So now you're going to have to go out there and guard her.
Now you open up the inside with
Now
Phillips.
it's going to open it up in the middle.
So we'll see how the Spartans want to play it. But first off, they're on the offensive possession here. Sadie Schulteis is back in the. They're going to get a hold here, I believe, on Holsing. Yes, you are. Holding Peppers. And I got to believe that talk there from Coach Peterson was all about how we are going to pound the ball inside and let Peppers go to work.
Yep.
Because you haven't seen her really get the basketball in there and be effective with it yet here as you're a couple minutes into this third quarter.
Yeah, and the defense that is being played by Holsing right now is unbelievable.
She's done a nice job,
Peppers.
Actually. I mean, I get it. You're giving up 16 points, but here she is. Holsing going to go on the run, tries to reach. Somehow they get it up there. McClintock rebounds it out of there on the Peppers miss. And here's Duncan. Cowgirls with the chance to cut in a little farther here. Back to single digits right now with a 9-point lead for Exira. Here's Duncan. She shoots the 3. No good. And finish at the glass. Phillips on the offensive glass, and it's a 7-point game. Boy, this is a little bit more inspired Cowgirls team right here. Here's Nelson with it. The hands are more active. Here's a shot up and in. What a great drive by Nelson.
Man, and that really
Healy
can't
Nelson.
happen at this part of the game. You got to know, you got a kid right there. That's your job. Get that done.
Well, she just took it with the left hand, and
Yep.
she was wide open to run down that lane. Here's Duncan with the basketball. Looking inside, there's Phillips. And a great cross screen. Nice roll by Phillips. That's a great basketball play right there. That's good offense.
Do it again and keep doing it until they stop it.
Out top they go. Here's Rasmussen with it. Good set by Burmeister looking. Here's Peppers with it as she's out high. Cross court. Schulteis, she's going to pop. And no good. Burmeister was working towards it, not able to get it. Duncan comes out of there, crosses, and she's going to get a carry. You bet.
She was.
Hand went under.
They're not going to like it behind us, but it is the right call.
Yeah, they are all booing, but it was the right call. She did put the hand under and rolled it over, and she didn't even hesitate. She dropped it right off.
She was going to the hoop, so it was the right process.
So 3:45 on your clock here, 39-32 your score. A good start here for the second half for Sidney. Here's a shot by Burmeister. Boy, that's a big bucket by number 22. Mara Burmeister hits a big one to push it back to a 10-point game. That was a great shot. She was set,
nice
feet,
looking
everything
shot.
there. You bet. Here's Duncan looking inside for Phillips. They're crossing. Here's McClintock. Ball fake. Holsing going to go on the drive. Peppers trying to get the block. Wasn't able to. 8-point game. Holsing, good drive. She's really had a nice little – she does everything here for Sidney. She's guarding the best player on the floor for the Spartans. And that's a tough chore all in itself. She's trying to front. Here's a kick to the outside. Schulteis, no good. Rebounded by Duncan. Don't try to see if she's trying to force it. She does not. She kicks it up to Ward. Ward was going to be in the – she was ahead.
Yep.
McClintock. Good. That young lady, she gets some air underneath. That's a 5-point game here.
She's feeling it right now. Get her the ball again.
Here's Rasmussen, kicks it back to Schulteis. And they're not even going to worry about her. They're going to make her, and out of bounds steps Burmeister. Turnover on the Spartans, right in front of their bench.
When you get on the sidelines, the court shrinks from the three-point line.
You really got to know where your feet are.
Yep.
You got to know where you're at. So it'll be Cowgirls basketball. McClintock into the front court.
Now let's see what Sidney's response is.
Well, they're still going to run. Here's McClintock's going inside. Good bounce pass. Blocked. Great block by Peppers. Ward gets the offensive rebound after the block. Here's McClintock. Pull up. No good. Hard off the glass. As she gets that rebound, kicks too hard. I think she was too close.
She was. She was underneath the basket too far, behind the basket.
Far court pass. 3-ball on the way. No good by Rasmussen. And here comes Sidney into the front court. Pass. There's going to be a travel.
Yep.
She got all the steps with no ball on the ground.
Yep. You get that one in the NBA, but you don't get it
Well,
in
she
high
couldn't
school.
get her feet. You could see it. She was like trying to get them ready. Couldn't do it. Turnover on the Cowgirls. 1:45 on the clock. 42-37 your score here. Ellie Schultes with it, number 32. Here's Nelson. They're going to get the ball to Peppers. No, Nelson's going to go on the drive. And you're going to get the travel. That's good defense right there. McClintock kind of knocked her off the spot, but I think it was incidental contact as far as I know that's a football term, but
it is. Sometimes you just get tangled up a little bit.
You
it's
betcha.
not necessarily a charge. It's not a block.
Here's McClintock with the basketball. Burmeister on her now, trying to get the reach. Here comes the pass off to Holsing, to Duncan. Duncan comes around. Runner, no good. Good tip out by Nelson on the rebound. Here's Schultes with it. Now she's going to run the floor looking for Peppers. Peppers put the arm up, nothing there. Now they get it into her. She is tough from that position. Good on the miss. McClintock to Duncan. Under a minute here in the third. Here's Holsing going to hold it out by half court. And they're pretty content maybe to try to go for one here. But instead of three. And an offensive rebound. Great job on the offensive rebound by Larson. McClintock on a ball fake, and she did not put the ball down. It's a travel. Turnover on the Cowgirls.
We've called a lot of ball games over this last year, and the more you pass, the more you run offense, the more opportunity you have for a turnover.
A big spot right there for that turnover because they had the momentum going if they could have hit a bucket. So McClintock will now guard. Now she's going to play that middle, kind of a sagging.
And now we'll hold for one.
And we're going to definitely hold for one here. And they're not going to be in any hurry here. They'll probably go with about 12 to 10 seconds left, and then they'll decide. They want the 3-ball. They can definitely get it from Ellie Schultes here. Hand off to Nelson. Now you probably got to decide to go. Inside it goes. Peppers off. Fouled by Holsing. And the bucket. That was just a great idea. Great concept. Great rant. Good run of a play.
Absolutely. I mean, they had 4 seconds left on the clock. Perfect execution. They knew they were going to go down there the whole time.
Yep. Yeah, and she was very patient when she got the basketball that close. She's tough from about 5 feet in. So Sophia Peppers to shoot one here. And it's good. So 4.2 left on your clock. Holsing going to run it up, and I would assume she's going to get the shot. Will not count if it goes. So that will end the third quarter. 45-37, Spartans lead.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it. Hi, Ron here.
All right, welcome back here to Wells Fargo Arena as we are getting ready to start the fourth corner here. Hey, basketball fans, save money while in Greater Des Moines. The Catch Des Moines Fun Pass features deals and discounts at places like Fong's Pizza, the Science Center of Iowa, and MB2 Raceway. And I got to tell you, if you've ever been out to the Raceway, it's awesome. It is a blast. That's out in our stomping grounds there, Pat.
That's right.
All right, so as we get ready to start the fourth quarter, we got an 8-point game. Spartans over the Cowgirls. And I tell you what, you did what they needed. You said it when we first came out into the started the third. You got to get this thing under 10. They've done that. It's an 8-point game. This is your battle. This is your life. 8 minutes of basketball here if you're Sidney.
Yep, absolutely.
So McClintock will inbounds, and here we go. It will be Holsing. And let's see how they're going to come out and run this thing here. Here's Duncan. She's going to go on the drive, kicks it off to Ward.
Phillips.
Here's McClintock. Inside to Holsing. No good off the glass. And rebounded by Nelson. Here she comes into the front court. Little dump pass. Great stop. Great catch by Peppers. She did a good job of not getting that travel because one more step, she was going to get the travel without getting the ball on.
There's two things on that. That pass threaded a needle. There was no space in there. There's arms everywhere, and you have to receive that catch like that. That was tough.
First shot up, no good. Always Shop Fairway is full-service meat counter for the best USDA choice beef. All natural pork and chicken. To learn more, visit fairway.com. One more coming here from Peppers. This one is good. I tell you what, she has a good-looking form on her shot.
It does.
And that will push the lead out to 9, 46-37. We'll set your team fouls and timeouts here in just a second. Duncan, guarded by Burmeister. Here's McClintock. They're looking on the far top side screen, looking to get it toward and do. Now inside, are they going to try getting the cross? Here comes the cross to Phillips. And no good. Rebounded by Burmeister. Up ahead, it goes to Rasmussen. They're looking to run, and it was kind of a delayed break. Nothing there. They're going to pull it back out.
They're going to pull them out of this soft zone.
Sidney has 3 fouls, and right now Exira has 1. So foul trouble from both teams is not an issue. There's a ball off the glass. Nelson, offensive rebound on the Rasmussen miss. But she has done it all. Young lady is really fun to watch. So 14 from Nelson, 20 for Peppers. Those are your 2 leading scorers. 14 from McClintock as well. First free throw good by Nelson. Pushes it to 10.
That's 13 points on the night for Nelson.
One more coming. Good as well. It pushes it back to that 11-point lead. And if you're Exira, you like that double-digit lead if you can keep it. Here's McClintock into the front court. As she picks up her dribble. Holsey now, they're looking to double it. And we're going to get a bumping foul. Little body.
Yep.
Burmeister on that foul. Pass inside, cross court. They get it to Duncan as she almost was ready to go before the ball was there. Here's McClintock on a nice little spin move. Dumped down, stolen away by Peppers. On the run she comes. Doesn't like what she sees and kicks it back out. Into the corner it goes. Inside, Nelson back out. Nice inside-outside game. Shot up and in. Schultes, Sadie Schultes.
That's her first 2 of the game.
That's a big bucket right there by the young lady, though. 50-37 your score here. There's a handoff to Duncan. Duncan going to break it down. Shot up, no good. A little short. Schultes on the rebound. Off to Peppers. Up ahead. They're not going to slow down the offensive machine. Maggie Rasmussen hits a big three, and it is timeout on the floor. We'll be right back.
Is Iowa. And here, we don't just dream of a better tomorrow, of a smarter way to do business or live, of perseverance and progress. We inspire it in others. We challenge the conventional, reimagine what it means to be better, and then dare ourselves to make it great. This is Iowa. And here, we don't just dream, we make history.
All right, welcome back here as we get ready. 5:44 on the clock here in the fourth. And it's a 53-37 lead here for Exira as the Cowgirls come into the offensive. And a quick turnover. Somehow the ball went out. I'm not sure what happened. If it went off her leg.
It hit a foot of one of the other players.
I missed how it went. I just seen it rolling. But it is a turnover on the Cowgirls. So here's Schultes out top. Now they're running a double high. This is the old UCLA offense. Looking for Peppers. Here's a pass to Nelson. Nelson going to go. That ball blocked away and taken, stolen away by Duncan. Duncan going to head into the front court. Schultes with her. There's a little bump. Nothing there. There's a long three. No good. Rebounded by the Spartans. Peppers with the basketball. Here's Schultes. Holsing trying to do whatever she can to get the. We're going to get a foul on the floor here by Holsing. So after this game, the winner of this game will be taking on Turkey Valley. And I want to make sure you guys stay with us as we will be running a clip that we just got done with Coach Carletta Niemeyer and Sadie Niemeyer. And then so those two will be giving an interview here and just following this game. That's going to be a little switch with the feet. So, yeah, definitely stay with us. The winner of this one will take on Turkey Valley. That could end up being just a lot of fun.
That will be a lot of fun to watch.
Turkey Valley staved off a heck of a run by Janesville. Janesville with a 24-0 record ends up getting beat here by Turkey Valley. So comes a quick drive, ball up, no good. There's a rebound by Peppers.
So strong down
Missed
in the middle.
A miss by Larson on that shot.
We're halfway through the quarter now, the last quarter, and Sidney has failed to score so far in this quarter.
And now good ball movement here by the Spartans. Schultes.
We're content
to
run clock at this point.
Well, you run about 3 minutes, or you run a minute a possession, you're going to have this thing done in 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to have a held ball, and it will stay with the Spartans here. As we're live here at Wells Fargo Arena. Welcome as you are tuning in. If you're just tuning in, as we're doing Class 1A quarterfinal. Last quarterfinal of the day. There's a shot up and in by Peppers. So stay with us here as we're going through the day here. Class 2A coming up next. Here's Holsing. Nice slide through. Not able to get it. Nelson with the defensive board. Kicks it to Schultes. Up ahead it comes. Cross court. There's going to be a steal by Moores. And she's going to come into the front court now. That ball tipped away. We're going to get a foul on Burmeister.
Yeah, that last pass over here.
For over 100 years. Sorry about this, Pat, real quick. For over 100 years, expertise and experience have made Lincoln Savings Bank the bank of choice for thousands of Iowans. Join with Lincoln Savings Bank as your lifelong financial partner. Back to action here, McClintock.
You can make that pass when you're up by 18, but
Yeah.
if it was a close game, there's no way you make that pass across.
We'll be right back here as we've got a timeout on the floor.
Ask anyone you know, they will tell you the best meat comes from Fairway. We take pride in our meat counter and choose nothing but the best choice beef for our customers. From ribeyes to ribs, chicken to brats, we have them all. From grilling season to crock-pot weather, we have you covered. Fairway, best at choice beef.
All right, welcome back here as 3:31. Let's get this thing reset for you. Sidney with 5 team fouls. The Spartans from Exira, Horn-Kimballton with 3. So foul trouble for Exira, really not much of an issue. Sidney with 3 timeouts. Horn-Kimballton with 2, so that really probably isn't an issue either. 55-38 with or 55-37, 18-point lead. Really been a tough second half here for Sidney.
It has, and we're almost 5.5 or 4.5 minutes in. We have not scored the ball. Sidney has not scored the ball yet. But as they go on, let's finish strong and see how we end up.
They're going to get a foul right here on the floor. Let's see who that is on. It's on number 20. That's Rasmussen on that foul. Holsing back in. We're going to get Ward back in. Moores and Larson out here for Sidney. Courtside here from Wells Fargo Arena, Brian Carlisle. Pat O'Brien on the call here of this game. Good offensive rebound right there by Phillips, just not able to do anything with it. Been a good one. Well, I mean, honestly, it's really been 18 seems like but it was tight through that first half.
It was tight the whole time, and there's a lot of runs in this game that have been going. The only difference in the game is the Spartans have been able to maintain runs.
We're going to get a foul here on Holsing as they are going to probably start doing the foul game to get them on the line and run. You got to save clock. 3:15 on the clock here. Sadie Schultes to inbound. Looking inside, getting it back out to Peppers. Let Peppers run the point here with Holsing. This is interesting to me that you got your post player is now your ball handler.
Yeah, this is kind of like the old Iowa State days when Royce Wright's running the point.
And I'm just wondering, basically, because she's an 80% free throw shooter,
Yeah.
I guess I'd want her to have the basketball as well.
Well, she's your leader. She's the one that's going to take you home.
Burmeister, an 81% free throw. So the other thing that these guys do very well is shoot free throws. Schultes, she's a 75% shooter. So you've got to start reaching. You got to start fouling here if you're Sidney. That's going to be the 5th team foul here. I'm sorry, that's the 7th team foul. So we're going to have shooting free throws. Mara Burmeister will step to the free throw line, 81.1 on the year.
Yeah, as a team, this is a 70% free throw shooting team, 71%.
Yeah, that's pretty
tough.
tough.
So pick your poison on that stuff, and that's really the benchmark that you want as a team, is you want to be able to shoot 70% from the team. From the line.
Great offensive rebound by none other than Miss Peppers. Sophia Peppers with that offensive rebound is going to give them another shot, except there's a steal and then a foul.
That is a good foul.
Rasmussen
right
got the foul there. We're going to get wholesale subs here for Sidney, as I think they realize, hey, you're down 18. You want to give these guys time on the floor. So everybody off for Sidney. You're going to get the same thing for the Spartans.
So
this is awesome.
When you
love
look at
seeing
the round
this.
of applause that you're going to get from Peppers right now and Nelson, but those aren't the two. Everybody, they're not the whole team right there. Those 5 that just put on the floor right there did a really nice job of winning this game.
50. I'm going to try to set these for you if I can here, Fork. This is Moores, number 20. Larson's on the floor. 22, Strickler. There's Larson with it right here. And we'll try to get these guys in there. Number 14 is Liz Lang. I'm trying here. Sorry, folks. And Welsh. So I got Sidney's. Now I'm trying to get this side. This is Schultes, number 32. You've got 24 is Peterson in the corner. Waymeyer, 52. 14 is Walker, and 20. Let's see who else I'm missing
Alex
here. 42
Peterson.
is Caniglia. And I'm going to say right now, she may be even though you're not going to see her in the scorebook, she played a really, really good first half of basketball for the Spartans.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've got Walker, Peterson, Schultes, Caniglia, and Waymeyer, Larson, Lang, Moores, Strickler, and Welsh here. Here's Moores with it. Kick across here to Welsh. Welsh going to pull up and get the bucket. Emily Welsh, number 30, with the bucket. And you've got a 16-point game. 55-39 your score. Coming up, minute and a half left here in this game. Here's Caniglia. Kicking down low. Nothing there is Waymeyer. Waymeyer going to fire. No good. Saved. Good save. Good save by Peterson. Just not able to get it. Look. Quick pass up. Here's Moores. Good. And a 30-second timeout. We've got 3 more subs coming back in here for Sidney. So now we're going to go to 25. It'll be Daffer. Let's see who the other 2 subs coming in here. But, Pat, this has been a good one. 14-point lead by the Spartans. Exira really kind of flexed its muscle here in the second half. Went on a couple of those runs that you were talking about. I think the other part of this for me from Sidney's aspect, McClintock had a great day, but you didn't get that other scorer to get the big points for them.
Yeah, when you get to the state tournament, you got to have everybody helping, everybody participating in that win.
Daffer, number 25 in. Also, Lauman, number 13 on the floor here. Strickler guarding Schultes. Trying to get it to Caniglia, but I don't think that's where they were really heading with it, but then instead it gets to Pete. Here's Caniglia. Kicks it back to Schultes. Kicks it back out. We're going to get another shot up, and good by number 14, Rachel Walker on a 3-ball. 58-41 your score. Here comes Moores. They just left the rim wide open, and down she goes. Maddie Moores with the bucket. 30-second. We're just getting a timeout. We're getting some more subs here. 30 only for the subs. That's all we're doing here. Peterson in. This is the fun part of our job. Hansen in.
Yeah.
10 is Antoffer. Grieving, number 44 in. So here we go. As we are at 29 seconds left on your clock. Peterson to inbound, and she does. Gets it into Hansen. Hansen kicks it to the corner. They kid it down low, right back out. We're going to get a 3-ball by Hansen, no good. Rebounded by Sidney in the corner. She's in a tough spot. Good idea, but she got the travel. As Lauman ran it down, just got in the corner.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to get the ball. You got it, but then what are you going to do when you get there?
You betcha. 15-3 left here on your clock. As we're going to get another bucket. No good. Sidney rebounds that basketball. That one by Lauman. So we're going to get Moores pulling up. Is she going to pop a 3? No, she doesn't, but another drive. No good. Rebounded out of there, and that will do it. So we are going to take just a quick break, get a couple of spots, and we'll put the finishing touches on this game. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's annual enrollment for most Iowa HealthLink members. If you signed up in April last year, you can change plans or keep things the way they are. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I'll probably check out all the plans again. I'm thinking about switching. I just want to make some healthy changes this year. Who do you have?
I'm staying with AmeriGroup. I get all the regular benefits plus lots of extras. Rewards for getting checkups and free Weight Watchers.
Wow, that sounds great. I'm going with AmeriGroup too.
Choose AmeriGroup.
Season. Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton fans, your team advances to the Class 1A semifinal game where they will face Turkey Valley on Thursday, March 2nd at 11:45 a.m.
That's fine. Welcome back here to Wells Fargo Arena, where we've just put the finishing touches on the 1A quarterfinals. Pat O'Brien and myself, Brian Carlisle, here. A good game, 58-43. Elkhorn-Kimballton does get the win over Sidney, but it didn't feel like a 15, 18-point game because Sidney really was playing pretty well. Their second half was just all about the spurts that the Spartans made, and then it just was we couldn't get buckets.
Yeah, Sidney scored 6 points in the fourth quarter alone, and if I was to look at everything, that's 2 quarters in a row they had 6 points. At the halftime, or the second quarter they had 6, and the fourth quarter they had 6. And when you look at the games in the quarters, the second quarter is more important than the first quarter. The fourth quarter is more important than all of them combined.
Yep.
So when you look at that type of thing, on the most important quarters that we had, we only got 12 points out of the whole thing. So that was a big factor in the game.
Well, you had a 35-20 halftime score. Then those 2 quarters were combined 16-14, and then I think they scored 19-6. So you went up. You had 13 there that you
Right.
you were down 2 plus that 13. That makes it rough. It's tough. But the other part of that is when we looked at the balance scoring from Exira, it was you had Peppers.
You got Peppers. She's got 22.
Nelson
you got
had
Nelson with
right.
14. So, and you also had 6 kids score in that game. So you look at Sidney, they had 7 score, but 3 of those kids scored at the end in those last 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, it was really challenging but, that's Sidney's first time. Do you think they feel bad right now? They made it to the Wells Fargo Arena. They're going to have something to talk about for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. So that great game, but let's run this down. We got Springville. Let's talk about Class 1A real quick. Springville 23-2 on the season will now take on Kingsley Pearson, who is also now 24-1. Some of these records are just unbelievable. You look at these teams. Kingsley Pearson is going to have their hands full. Springville is the real deal. But on the other side, the one we just finished up, Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton will now take on Turkey Valley. I look forward to that game. That one's going to be a lot of fun Thursday at 11:45. Your other game Thursday at 10 o'clock will be Springville and Kingsley. That'll start your Thursday morning stuff here. Paul Yeager will be on that first call, I believe,
so
most likely.
Why didn't we get this Turkey Valley Elkhorn one again?
You know what? We do have that thing called a job that you and I have to probably do,
I suppose.
But we're going to go ahead and put the finishing touches here. Pat, it was good to get this thing started.
Yes.
We do have Iowa City Regina coming up here at 5 o'clock as they take on Logan Magnolia. I do want to make sure that you guys stay tuned with us right after this game as we will have the Turkey Valley coach and the player interview. It'll be Carletta Niemeyer and Sadie Niemeyer. So that'll do it right here from Wells Fargo Arena, where Exira Elkhorn-Kimballton defeated Sidney 58-43. Don't forget, the video replay of today's matchup will be available in its entirety later on CISN.TV, complete with all the highlights that you will read about tomorrow. For our crew, I'm Brian Carlisle. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for Class 2A quarterfinal action as Iowa City Regina will take on Logan Magnolia right here on CISN.TV.
Tell us what were your
the thoughts toward the end of the game there? You guys battled all the way back. And, what were you thinking?
Pretty much the name of the game is Survive and Advance. You know, we have to put down away in our minds and try and come up as a team and win as a team. So we just wanted to finish strong.
What was it? They came out strong in that third quarter and kind of took that lead back. And then was there something you changed in the fourth quarter? Or?
Most of it was like defense. You know, we want to get defensive stops, and you know, we had some clutch points in there, so that was nice. But we pride ourselves on our defense, so that was the thing: get a defensive stop.
And then you go to your main scorer, Reichs, and she was getting it done, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. You know, Shelby, you can rely on Shelby. She's a trooper.
So, how do you come off of this a tie win and get ready for the next game?
I think it gives us more motivation. You know, we can't take anyone lightly, and you know, everyone is one notch higher than what they were in the regular season. So I think this will help with our motivation and help us stay focused for the next games.
Got all the way to the title last year. You want to get back there, don't you?
Definitely, most definitely.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Coach Carla Niedermeyer from Turkey Valley. Wow. Those are the games that, man, you get down here and those close ones, you hope you're on the right side of it, and today you guys came out on the right side, didn't you?
We finally did. That was good. It was definitely kind of pressing there as to whether we could just get over that little hump to get the lead back again, and fortunately we did, and then luckily there wasn't much time left that we had to hang on to it. So
we know basketball is a game of runs. They came out to start the third quarter, and I think it was something like 20-6, and they take that lead. And then did you make adjustments, or what did you do then into the fourth quarter to get back into it?
Well, we were a little down there in the third quarter as far as we had to have one of our best defensive girls setting out, Morgan Kennan, so that didn't help our cause any. And I think, too, we just did not do a very good job of moving our feet and getting over where we needed to be. So we talked about trying to make adjustments on that. I just think basically a lot of it was our senior girls stepping up and not wanting this to end. So I think they did a good job of taking control and just making sure that people were all on the same page and getting after it.
I know it's a team game, but man, Reichs and Hazard both just took over for their teams. For you, and then Tori Hazard for Janesville, and it just man, it was a good battle there too, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Both of those girls are that type of player. So. It's hard to stop both of them. I commend Tori Hazard. She's a great player. She just knows how to get to the basket. And Shelby can do the same thing. And fortunately, she, with her injury going down and with the other ankle there, for her to get back in there and to stick with it, I thought that was gritty, wasn't it? Yeah, very gritty.
So what do you do now to prepare for the next game?
We talked about just trying to come into the next game where we left off. We don't want to, go backwards on it. We'll make sure that we keep our intensity and our momentum going, and just focusing better, playing good defense, and being aggressive on offense.
Congratulations into
Thank
the
you.
semis.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching our live coverage of the 2017 Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament on the Central Iowa Sports Network. You can check CISN.TV for a replay of this game. The free coverage of today's game brought to you on CISN by Mid-American Energy, CenturyLink, Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company, and the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. That's all for now from Wells Fargo Arena in downtown Des Moines.